Hello, welcome into Chevrolet's Inside High School Sports. I'm Matt Musil. With another season of football now in the books, it's time to look back at some of the more memorable stories that transpired throughout the 2017 season. Nothing, of course, was more memorable than the storm of the century. On August 29th, Hurricane Harvey arrived with record-breaking flooding and damage greater than anything the state of Texas has ever seen. But through those tragic events, many of our area athletes stepped up and showed tremendous resiliency. We have those inspirational stories for you now. With the beginning of each football season, optimism and hope for a great year abounds throughout the state. Players, coaches, and fans eagerly anticipate a successful season that includes a trip to the playoffs and hopefully a run at a state title. But the fall of 2017 will long be remembered for something else.
The National Hurricane Center literally just now officially changed the pressure for Hurricane Harvey. Extreme force, hurricane force conditions all across portions from this event, as far as the rainfall and the winds and even the potential for an isolated tornado to be in place through the weekend.
Hurricane Harvey was expected to wreak havoc in the greater Houston area, but what unfolded over the course of several days was far beyond what even the experts had predicted. Unrelenting rainfall quickly began pushing area bayous and levees to the brink of disaster. While much of the city sustained damage, the hardest hit areas became uninhabitable, and for the first time ever, the season's opening weekend was canceled. No team in the greater Houston area was able to take the field due to the historic damage caused by Harvey. The sight of ordinary citizens headed out on their boats and search and rescue missions inspired the nation as the images played out on national TV. At Straight Jesuit, a number of athletes stepped up to help their neighbors. Brothers Liam and Declan Connor, along with their good friend Thomas Edwards, wasted no time in putting the family boat to good use. They skillfully navigated the rising waters, with their parents serving as a dispatch center from a home they had built after losing their previous one in the Memorial Day flood. It was something one would have to see to believe.
We went first to go help a neighbor across the street. Their friend around the block had 2 small children and 2 dogs. So when we picked them up, one of their neighbors asked if we could come back and get them. And so then we went back and got them. And we just started taking people to Kroger, and it seemed like every person we saved, there was always another person who was next to them or down the street that always said, oh, this person also needs rescuing. And the Houston Fire Department was out there rescuing people, but all they had were floats and rafts, and none of them had boats until about 4 or 5 o'clock. So we made most of our rescues before 4 or 5.
It was kind of crazy, actually. We woke up and the boat was floating off the trailer, and my neighbor across the street called me and said, can you go pick up some friends that lost power? And we did that, and it was just kind of crazy. We drove over people's lawns, drove all the way up to their front doors, and it was just crazy to think that you drive a car here and you could drive a boat. It was 9 feet deep. It was just crazy how deep it was.
Once we, I guess, started getting publicity, and this guy who works for the Houston Chronicle, he's a photojournalist, who's posting all of our efforts on social media. And I remember I tweeted back at him Declan's number, call us for help or anything if you're in this area. And we received a lot of calls, and a lot of them were over in other neighborhoods, and we couldn't really get to them because we couldn't cross the bayou because of the current and because of the size of the boat. But I guess that was, I don't know, it felt kind of bad not being able to go, to other neighborhoods and help those people.
Dickinson was another area that was hit hard. Head coach John Smelson was moved to tears as his team rallied together to help restore his home after it took on tremendous damage.
The devastation is really hard, and just looking at all this stuff.
I feel like if my house is flooded, I want the most help I can get, so we all want to come here and show Coach Nelson that we care about him, do a lot for us, and do a lot for him.
Whenever you truly feel the love, not the emotion of love, but the true feeling of love that you're just surrounded by pretty overwhelming.
Inspired by all of the citizens who banded together to rebuild, area sports figures stepped forward and made generous donations of time and money. Astros shortstop Carlos Correa handed out beds. J.J. Watt and Jose Altuve earned Sports Person of the Year honors due to their contributions to the relief efforts. Watt, already the most popular man in town, rallied the city like no one else ever has. In a little less than a month's time, he helped raise more than $37 million.
I think one of the things for me with these awards is I don't like that they're singular, because for me personally, I don't feel like I'm singularly deserving of any award. I think that there were so many people that went into these efforts. I think there are so many people deserving. I think that all of Houston is deserving of the awards. I think that all the people who donated are deserving. I think that it would mean more for me to be able to share it with all the people who are deserving of it. I mean, all of Houston. I think that anything that I get to do, any honor that I get, any credit that I get deserves to go to the city of Houston, deserves to go to all the people who donated from all over the country and all over the world. I'm just the conduit who helped try and make it all happen.
Though it was a time that most wish had never happened, it was arguably Houston's finest hour. The stories of heroism and resiliency will live forever.
Now stay right there. When we come back, we'll find out how the students at Friendswood High School rallied together to overcome a very challenging situation.